right, now you can start lying down on your back if that's comfy. If it's not, any which way that feels safe, supported, as easeful as you can be. If you want to add props, anything under you or on top of you, go for it. Settle and spread out. That's it. Find your watery nature. Do you know it's the Chinese New Year is it's on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday is Chinese New Year. And this last year that we were in was the year of the water tiger, which was super intense. And I don't know if it was for you, but in general, the feeling about the water tigers, of course, having this like roar kind of energy coupled with water, which accentuates everything. And this coming year is the water. It's water again, but it's the water rabbit, which is really different. It's the water bunny. And not only is it the water bunny, but it's the yin water bunny. So every year, usually when we hear about Chinese New Year, we hear just the animal, like it's the year of the rabbit or the year of the tiger. But the year gets an animal and it gets an element and then it gets a yin or a yang. And so starting on Sunday, we get the water rabbit in a year of yin. So it is telling you to be sweet and soft like a little cuddly, snuggly bunny, and quiet and introspective like a bunny in its den. So take a few moments as you're here lying on your back or wherever you are. You can start to just move around like you're really safe in your little bunny den way under the ground. And like if you need to, you can act. That's the thing about rabbits. Well, one thing, rabbits don't fight. And I researched this. I was like, is this true? I read it somewhere and I thought, is that for real that they don't fight? They don't. Rabbits are not fighters. They will act. They're quick. They're smart. They're intuitive. But they are not aggressive in any way whatsoever. But they know when to act and they know when to retreat. And I know for me, that's something I'm forever trying to learn. When do I go hard? When do I go out? When do I act? And when do I come back and replenish? When do I recover? Can I be aware of when I need nourishment? That for me anyway, that's a big one of like not realizing that I need nourishment until I'm way past the point and I'm completely depleted. And so just dropping that into your heart, dropping that into your body. You can take a few moments of moving or resting, snuggling, wiggling, whatever body part wants to express itself, wants to be heard in this moment. Let it speak, let it move, let it call to you in the softest, fluffiest, downiest, bunny kind of way. And little by little, take your time. We're going to come to all fours. So as you come to all fours, again, no rush at all. Going to take some cat cows. So you can start regular cat cow, palms under shoulders or so, knees under hips or so, and just let your spine start to scrub around the inside of the skin on your torso. Let your rib cage start to scrub around. The bones of your pelvis start to scrub around inside your body. Your head can dangle or it can rock and roll and move. And then the offering here, which is always just a suggestion, is that as you're in this cat cow, you could spin your feet over to the right. So a little asymmetrical. So if I'm facing straight away like this, my feet look over here. And then continue moving your spine And any amount that you feel comfortable, you could also walk your hands over to the right. So you end up in a sort of side bend, curved, almost half moon shape, quarter moon shaped cat cow, which might feel a little weird, and that's okay. And you're getting all this delicious squeezing on the right side of your body and all this beautiful pulling on the left side. So explore a little bit here. Move as slowly as you like. Move a little slower than you like. See if we can dial it down just a bit. Go back into your den if you notice that all of a sudden you're out in the big wide world again. See if you can snuggle back into your den. Go into that place of inner stillness. That was one thing I did read today about this year of the coming water rabbit, was that it's really about kind of always trying to navigate your life with a sense, an understanding, a sense of your inner stillness, which is kind of what we're always trying to do, right? As yoga people, yin people. Can I find this really quiet and still place inside myself, even when life is swirling and moving around me? So you got your feet over to the right and your hands over to the right. And we're going to slowly start to sit back to the left side of your heels. And so if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll show you. I'm walking my hands back towards my knees, and then little by little dropping my butt over to the left side, and my feet are on the right side. So it's kind of like a side saddle. If you need any kind of blanket props underneath you, go for it. And then some options here. I was enjoying a few moments in a twist, so twisting to the left. You might put your left hand behind you, your right hand on the knee. You could play with your neck, head, jaw, chin. Just try to unstick all those tight, sticky bits up there. And then if that's where you want to stay, stay. If that's what's really serving you, you could keep twisting, or you could take a side bend. And there's two ways to do this. You could keep holding your knee with your right hand and carve your left arm over, or taking the right hand and walking it away to the right. And then anything you want to do with your left arm, it can be over your head, it can drop behind your back, you can let your right ear really drop towards your right shoulder, your jaw unhinge, super soft face, letting your face just slide off your skull. And your lips be like water over your teeth. Your eyes can sink into the back of your sockets a bit, get softer. And eyes open or eyes closed, it doesn't matter. But a sense of climbing back in, kind of slowing what's down, what's coming in through your field of view, slowing it down. And we're here for a bit. We're here for a minute. A minute doesn't seem like a lot, but sometimes it does. Time is weird. And remember, we've been talking about this the last couple of weeks, that we're not here to just to prove that we can stay still. It's not like a contest. Oh, I can be the stillest person in the room. You're using the stillness to feel into things. Do I need to shift? Do I need to come out? Do I need to sink into it a little more? So we're going to do a couple of things in a row, kind of like we did last week. I've been enjoying lately doing a little almost vinyasa with Yin, 2 or 3 poses in a row and then switching. And so this one's going to turn into either a deer or a pigeon. And so you can come on out if you were in a side bend or a twist and come back upright with your spine. And no rush, just take a moment to feel what it feels like to be upright again. Breathe right through the central channel of your spine. And then your right leg can start to reach back behind you. And it might just go back bent a little ways. Right, so this is the deer pose, and you could play right here and fold in any direction over your front leg or to the side of your front leg. If you're feeling like you want to, and it's not necessarily more or less or bigger or better, but if you wanted to stretch your right leg back, it could turn into a swan. So it's really just about what you need. Take what you need, leave the rest. And so it could be any version of a sleeping swan where you fold yourself over your front leg, or any version of a deer. All props are always welcome. And now you're a water bunny again. Go into your den where it's dark and quiet. Did you read my favorite book when I was a kid? It was the Brer Rabbit books. I wonder if you all, I might be too old for you all to know that, but Brer Rabbit is being chased by something. I don't remember what it is, and gets caught and says, just don't throw me into the bramble bush, anywhere but the brambles, please, please, please. And so whatever this person chasing the rabbit is throws him into the bramble bush. Well, it turns out that's where his den is. And it's actually the most wonderful, snuggly, perfect place to be tossed into amongst all the thorns. So how do we find our own snuggly little resting spot, even amidst all the thorns, even amidst all the thoughts that come and go, even amidst all the feelings that pierce now and then? You've got another moment here to let things fall, to let muscle fall from bone, to let your body fall into the earth. To let the breath fall out of your body. Could be interesting to shift here too. If you move your upper body an inch this way or that way, forward, side, it does something different. It starts to accentuate different muscles, tissues, fibers in your hips. So if you want to do that, And then thinking that from here, it might be nice to just spill onto your back, fall over to the left in the direction of your bent leg and kind of fall apart on your back. If it doesn't feel good to do that, if you need something else, please do something else. We will meet on our backs eventually. That's where the next shape will begin. And so you could start to make your way onto your back. And there could be stillness or there could be some gentle movement. Staying in the soft, sweet, dark den, inner stillness. So rabbits too, I was remembering as a kid when we'd go to the fair and we'd play the like carnival games at the fair, and I remember winning rabbit's feet. That was a thing back in the 80s when I was a kid, late 70s, how rabbit's feet were good luck. And so it is in Chinese medicine and philosophy a year of really good luck. So just knowing that, it's nice. Maybe make you feel a little lighter, a little softer, knowing that everything's sort of stacked in your favor at the moment. So we had the left leg, right? Left leg was bent in front. Yeah. So now you're on your back. And since you have the left leg bent, we're going to straighten the left leg out. It's already straight, probably. Take your right leg, wrap it around your left leg. Like my left knee is bent a little bit actually. And so I'm kind of doing like a really soft version of eagle legs. And it could be one cross, thigh over thigh. Or it could even be that your right toe is tucked behind your left ankle. I'm going to reach my arms up overhead and hold opposite elbows. If that feels good, keep them there. If it doesn't, you can move them. And then rocking your knees from side to side. So I'm dropping my knees over to the left and then rolling across the bones and fibers of the pelvis and the pelvic bowl all the way over to the right, dropping knees to the right. And so you can explore with that, rocking your lower body and legs side to side. If it feels nice, maybe a gentle tug on the elbows up and back. We're gonna head into a twist. If you want to rock the whole time, you can keep rocking it out side to side. There's something very soothing for your nervous system about rocking. But if you feel like you're ready to land and get quiet, then you can drop your knees at any point over to the left. If you want to keep your hands and arms there, great. If you want to move them, that's great too. If you want to add or subtract a prop, go for it. So you're not just a rabbit, you're a water bunny. And water just seeks the low place, it fills in spaces, it doesn't struggle. So letting go of any struggle here and letting all the waters of you just find their most natural settling place. With the arms overhead like this, you're getting a lot into the shoulders, chest, heart, your heart, long meridians. If it gets to be too much at any point, you can let your arms drop. bring your attention, your mind's eye, and your breath to your whole right side body here. Let your breath soften and spread out your right side body. So each year, we have an animal, we have an element, we have a yin or a yang, and the animal has its own element. There's so much going on. And the rabbit is a wood element, which is all about hope. Hope and excitement and looking forward to new possibilities. When I think wood element, I think about bamboo, how it grows so fast and it just pushes out of the earth and it's just so excited and it just grows and it spreads and reaches towards the sun. So that's the energy of this year. It's hope. It's gentle. It's fluid. It's not struggling. It just goes where it's needed. Go ahead and undo your twist. Feel what you feel. Stay in your den. Try not to go too far out of it. Be in the depths of your own body, your own world. How heavy and soft and watery can you stay as you come around to hands and knees? For a puppy, melting heart, sometimes we call it in yin, sometimes a puppy, but all fours, your puppy tail stretched up high and your arms walking out, and you can either come down to elbows and let your head fall, or you can bring your head to the floor or to a block. Would be really nice here to put your head on the block. And just a reminder, a gentle reminder to only go like 50% here, 50, 70% max. We're not going for 100%. You've got time for that. If you need padding under your knees, put them there. If you want to pull a block in under your head, bring it in. And then let your spine cascade down towards the floor. Waterfall hearts. And just bring your mind into your chest, physical heart space, front, sides, back. Feel the sweet compression in the back. Imagine your heart drinking in that compression like sweet nectar. And the stretch of the front and the sides. Giving your lungs room, giving your heart room. Imagine your lungs and your heart growing, spreading out, seeping out in between your ribs towards the floor, seeping out through the sides of your ribs. Go ahead and start to bring it back. It feels nice to take a child's pose. You could do that. If it feels nice to come to all fours and round into a cat back. Maybe some cat-cow movement of your spine, any kind of squiggly wiggly movement or any kind of still quiet movement. You got some time. We are going to come to all fours eventually. You don't have to hurry to get there. When you do, take it all back to where we started. On hands and knees, cat cow for a bit. And then we swung our feet to the right before. This time feet will swing over to the left. And you can continue to move your spine in any way you feel called to. And you might walk your hands around over to the left and create this curved spine. If something feels interesting, you want to stop and linger. Please feel free. You never have to keep up with me. And then from this sideways cat-cow, begin to walk your hands towards your knees, sitting back to the right side of your feet. So any way you get there, if it doesn't work out like that, any way you get there is good. That you're in kind of a side saddle with knees and feet over to the left, sitting off to the right. Maybe there's a twist. Twist can last a little or as long as you like. And then there could be any kind of a side bend over to the left. Maybe you're holding the right knee with your left hand and reaching. Maybe your right arm is falling behind your back. Or maybe you're going to walk your left hand over to the left side and take your side bend that way. Let your shoulders be soft. Jaw nice and empty, release, tongue soft, root of the tongue soft. You're still, or you're moving, but if you're moving, it's moving from stillness. It's moving from a real place of listening. Still here. Yep. Another few breaths. Check around, make sure nothing got too stuck. Just looking. Often, I know just for me, when I focus on releasing one part of my body, sometimes all the other parts tighten up. I'm just doing a scan, top to bottom, inside, outside, for what's working that doesn't need to be right now. And from here, and when you do, if when you come up, it's either a deer. So, and no rush when you side bends. I don't know. For me, I feel like side bends are like whoa sometimes. So take a moment, take a minute if you need to, take as long as you need to. And then there's this offering of moving the left leg back and coming into either a deer with any kind of forward bend in any direction, or the left leg and keep on stretching back to turn into a swan with a forward fold. So all the props you want. So in Chinese mythology, there's this beautiful moon goddess named Chang'e. I'll tell you her story. It's a beautiful story. That originally there wasn't just one sun, there were 10 suns in the sky. And they would go one after the other. Each sun would take its turn in the sky, crossing through the heavens. But one day, all 10 suns decided they were all going to light up the sky at once. And it was too much, as you might imagine. 10 suns, everything started to dry up and burn to a crisp, and all the flowers died and everything shriveled. And so the emperor asked the great archer, who he was kind of like, is sort of like the Cupid of Chinese mythology. He said, "Get your bow and arrow, please, and help me here." And so he grabbed his bow and arrow, and one by one, he shot each of the suns out of the sky until there was just one left. And when there was just one left, the emperor was so grateful that he gave this great archer this nectar of immortality, the most precious thing in the universe. And the thing is, this archer, he had a beautiful beloved, and he didn't want to leave her. He thought, if I become immortal, then I have to leave my mortal wife, and I can't do that. And so he refused to drink the nectar. He tucked it away. And then one day he left to go on a job to go save the world again. And one of his enemies came to steal this nectar of immortality. And his wife was there at the time, Chang'e, and she thought, I can't let him get it. He can't have this magical potion. He doesn't deserve it. And so she swallowed it all up. And when she swallowed it all up, she started to float. And she floated and floated up into the sky, and she just kept on floating all the way up into the heavens. And she thought, I better grab onto something and land somewhere. I'm just going to keep floating up into infinity. And so she grabbed the moon, and she landed on the moon. And there she lives now. And she has a rabbit. That's her best friend who lives with her on the moon. And if you look at night up into the moon, especially a full moon, sometimes you can see the face of a little rabbit. They call him the Jade Rabbit. The moon goddess and the Jade Rabbit live up there. Go ahead and pour onto your back when you're ready. If this is interesting, if you want a bit more, you can stay. If you feel ready at any moment in the next breath, or 5 or 10 breaths, you can start to fall apart onto your back. wherever you are on your back or anywhere in between. Can you float? Can you let your breath make you a little softer and lighter, as if you could float right up to the moon and the stars? So the right leg will stay pretty long. Gonna bend a little bit. You can then take your left leg and cross it over thigh, or if you feel, if you want to, you could tuck your toes behind your right ankle. If you want to bring your hands up, you can hold opposite elbows again. Maybe try to switch which one is on top. Or any other way you want to have your arms is great. And then we're rocking the hips and the knees, the whole lower body, side to side. So if you've ever had a moon cake, ever had those delicious little sweet treats from China? That's where they come from. They're for the moon goddess. So when her husband, the archer, we discovered what happened, she had disappeared and gone to live on the moon, he was so heartbroken. And he started making all of her favorite treats and would leave them out for her all the time, just in case she ever came back. And take another rock or two or more, but eventually, if you feel like you're ready to settle, when you want to settle, knees will drop to the right. Your arms can stay there, or they can find a new place to land that feels appropriate. Soft and heavy. All your waters clearing and settling. Whole outer body really gentle, like a baby bunny covered in soft fur. And your insides all soft and sweet like a moon cake. So all of that whole story, just to let you know how special the rabbit is. The rabbit associated with the moon being soft and yin and shimmery, calming, boding well for the year ahead. May we all be well. May we all be happy. May we all be at peace. May our minds be at ease. May we thrive. Feel your left side body here, feet to hips, your torso, shoulders, arms. Your whole left side body spread out and soften. Look for the water. Look for the water in you. Look for where the water would pool and get heavy. Feel very happy where you are. You don't have to move at all, but it can also be interesting to move a little here, like playing with moving your legs further away from your body, closer to your body. It changes things. Sometimes you can access different tissues that you normally don't. So if there's any last little shifting that you need, we've got another handful of breaths here. When we do come out of this one, we're going to stay on our backs for a minute so you can undo your twist. No rush. Spread out on the ground, or if there's some movement that needs to happen, you can do that. Some time. For the next one, if you've got a block, bring it over, or a bolster, or a pillow. And it's totally fine if you don't. It can all be done without a prop. But I'll show you, and you don't need to rush to do this. I'll just show you. Your block can be on its short side or its medium side. I don't suggest the tall side unless you really feel like you need to. I'm going to put mine on the medium side. I'm bringing it right under the sacrum. And you might have to adjust, you'll see as we move through this. So it's going to be, it's kind of like a supported bridge, but then I'm going to tuck my right foot behind my left ankle, kind of snuggle it back and cross left shin in front of right shin. So like a crisscross shape. And let the knees fall. And arms, I like my arms overhead somewhere, but if you want to keep your arms done by your side, that's fine too. I'll show you this way. So it's basically like a supported bridge with Sukhasana legs, with crisscross shins, legs. Okay, so if you need to adjust your block, turn it lower, turn it higher, You can do that. You can do that as many times as you need to. If you need to drop the block altogether, you can do that as well. And trying to be, if you're on the block, like water flowing over a rock, like a really gentle stream flowing over a rock. Even if you're not on a block or a pillow, you can still be just a flowing, gentle stream. Yeah, Supta Baddha Konasana is a good idea too. And take another breath or two, and then we will switch the legs. Take your time. There's no rush here. You've got another breath or two, and then you can bring it back with feet to the floor. Tuck the left ankle or left foot behind the right ankle. Crisscross your shins. Drop your knees in the direction of the ground. Just let gravity take them. You don't have to do anything here, really. Just kind of get out of your own way and say, okay, come on, gravity, you can have me now. Back of your heart, soft and heavy. Back of your skull, soft and heavy. So we're going to take one last shape here, some version of a forward bend. So as you gather yourself back to center and uncross your legs, you can press down into your feet, remove the block, let your spine empty down into the ground. A couple of options if you want to stay on your back. You're like, I'm here, I'm not getting up again. You can take a happy baby. If you do feel like you want to sit up, you might slowly pour over to one side, push up like water flowing up to sit, and take a caterpillar, which is a long leg, forward bend, rounded spine, different than we do it in vinyasa class, right? You're not stretching your heart forward or squeezing your legs or anything. It's just loose legs, rounded back, head heavy, elbows soft. Either one of those or both of those or anything else, anything at all. We've got some time here, another solid minute at least. The other thing I read today about the water rabbit, the yin water rabbit year, was that it's a year of friendship. So keep your friends really close this year. Bunny pack. So we're here until we rest. Okay, and you got time just to let you know where we're at. You got another 2, 3 minutes or so. Let's say three, you got 3 minutes. And that could be more forward bending. And that could include some resting. You could rest now, you could rest in a bit. Up to you. Empty yourself into the ground, like water into the earth. You can start to breathe yourself back into the world. Wider, softer, brighter. Rush. And putting a picture here on the screen. I shared my screen so you can see Chang'e, the moon goddess. There she is with her little bunny at her feet. Isn't she beautiful? There's the bunny. So no rush, but you can kind of sit if you feel like coming back up. Place your bunny paws on your body anywhere you like, or together at your heart. If you can sense your own heartbeat for a moment. Breathing in really wide. Oh. everybody. Happy rabbit year, almost. Thank you all. There we go.